Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm working on a 2008 Nissan Armada today. The symptoms were a blinking airbag light as well as the horn not working or any of the steering wheel controls. We pulled the codes. It came up as the clock spring, and I'm going to show you basically what it would look like to you. You're sitting in the vehicle, you'll see the airbag lights blinking. You'll notice you don't have a horn. Typically, this is a tall tale sign of a bad clock spring in your steering wheel. I'm going to show you how to safely change that. Step one, make sure the vehicle is off. Also, you're going to open the hood. You're going to come out to your battery. You're going to disconnect the negative side. Go ahead and pull that cable off because you're working with the airbag. You want to make sure it doesn't go off. Leave this off for about 2 to 5 minutes. Make sure your whole system's decharged before you start working on it. Before that, you should actually make sure your steering wheel is completely straight as well as your wheels. As you pull your steering wheel off for this procedure, you want to make sure when you put it back, it is perfectly straight. So do that before you disconnect the battery. Make sure your tires are straight as well as your steering wheel is perfectly straight. Getting into it, you're going to look at your steering wheel. You're going to notice that you have these on the side here. You're going to take a pick tool or even a very small flathead and pry these out here, just gently so you don't break them. After you remove these on both sides, you're going to take a 10mm in here and go ahead and loosen. There should be 2 bolts inside. You might need an extension. As you can see, that's what they're going to look like. You go on the opposite side and do the exact same thing. Once you get both sides out, this airbag should actually lift out. You want to be very careful as you're pulling it out because there are still attachments on the back side, so don't pull it out too fast. For this first attachment, you're going to see this little clip here. If you take a little pry tool, you'll see on the inside you can put some pressure and that clip should relieve itself. Then you should be able to pull that one off. There you go. See a little better shot of that first one. That's the ground cable. You put that pressure right there on that little clip and pull back. These next two, you're going to be very careful and you're going to want to pull these black safety clips up. They're going to want to go basically just gently pull these up. And if you have a very small flathead instead of a pry tool, which is a little better, you'll see a little groove there. You slip it in and pry up. Just very gently and it should pop out just like the orange one did. You'll notice once you pry those up, these clips are just gonna pop right out. Now you have your airbag out. You wanna set this either on a back seat or a workbench where it's not gonna fall or hit the ground and damage it. You gotta be very careful with this. Next, it should look all like this. You're going to see very carefully that you have one harness here. You can either use your thumb or use a flathead, pinch it and pull it out there. Just make sure it comes out in one piece. Do not pull on the wires. You want to pull on the connector itself. After you get that connector out, you're going to take a 19mm socket with an extension. You're going to place it right on that center bolt. Once again, make sure your wheels are straight and the steering wheel is straight. You're going to hold onto the steering wheel with one hand as you loosen this nut with the other. And you're going to want to loosen this nut all the way out. So you can see that's the main nut. It came off. Set it to the side. Make sure you don't lose it. Next step, you're going to take the steering wheel. Usually you'll have a steering wheel remover on these Nissans. It's fairly easy. If you take one hand here, rock the steering wheel back and forth gently. Should loosen up and actually just slides right out. As you're pulling it out, make sure that your connectors go through the steering wheel and not with it and pull the wiring. Once your wheel's off and your connectors are free, you'll see this. We'll keep moving on. Next step, you're going to want to remove this cover here. Keep this in an upright position. This should be on top. Should look very similar to that. You want to make sure it stays that way and doesn't get cockeyed. You'll see 1, 2, 3 Phillips head screws. You want to remove those. These will come out like this. Be gentle as you're removing them because they're plastic and there's clips, and as they get older, they get more brittle. As you're looking under, you'll see there's 1, 2, the third one's going to be back here. For that third one too, it's pretty deep up in there, so you want to make sure you have a longer Phillips head to reach it. You can also use a flashlight to look under to see where you're going. Basically, you start removing these from these corners here. Just pull down, like I said, gently, so you don't break them. Just wedge like a flathead or a pry tool in there. Go ahead and gently pull down. Top should pop right off. The bottom, as you guide it out, just make sure you guide it around this. Also make sure that your steering wheel is not in the up position, but it's adjusted to the lowest down position as you're doing that. Otherwise this top piece will get caught in the back. Bottom piece is a little difficult to get out. Like I said, you just want to guide it around here. Just be careful of that spring right there. That's on your steering angle adjustment. Make sure everything looks just like this. Like I said, you still want to make sure that this is in an upright position. Then you're going to start by removing these. These are very easy. They should have white clips on the top as well as on the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and press these white clips and just slide them out gently. There you go. See that? Fairly easy. Don't yank this because this does have a connector on the back end of it that you want to disconnect here from the top. Same story over here. I'm going to just go ahead and very gently pull this out. This piece does not have a connector, as the connector is actually here. After you got this side and this side out, you disconnected that connector on that side. You're going to look down. You'll see right in these little holes here, 2 Phillips head screws. You're going to want to go ahead and remove these. After you've removed both of these Phillips heads, you're actually ready to remove this here, the clock spring altogether. First, you're going to want to look up on top here. You'll see a clip. You're going to want to push that down before you start to remove this. Just very gently pull it towards you. After you've removed it gently off, keep in mind I say gentle because there is connectors on the back side. You're going to want to carefully remove these connectors. The gray and yellow are pretty tough to remove. You're just going to want to gently work them out. Probably use a small Phillips head to apply pressure to release clip, and then keep in mind the orientation as you pull them out. Now you've got this unit fully removed. You can see what it looks like underneath. You're going to want to go to your new one, make sure it matches up, make sure the connectors are the same before you go ahead and reinstall.